Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. We have a proper gameplay trailer for Cristiano Ronaldo now for Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. You probably saw the big news earlier today that he was announced as a character in the game, yes. A real-world sports figure is a playable character in a fighting game. As far as guest characters go, that's a pretty wild one. I'm from Canada, so football / we call it soccer around here, not as big of a deal. Like if it was Mario Lemieux, I'd be freaking out right now, right? But he probably wouldn't play so big everywhere else. You know, I also would have said Gretzky, but yeah, if you're Canadian, you know. Regardless, Ronaldo, worldwide renowned figure. And as far as the gameplay goes, very interesting because on top of this gameplay trailer, we also have his full move list. And turns out he might be mildly complex and complicated function-wise. So if you're like me and you don't know anything about the football end of things, either the sport or the players, Ronaldo does look pretty interesting mechanically as a fighting game character. So that all said now, let's break down the trailer. Also, we have, even though it's very little, we do have his story and lore reasoning for being in the game. One of the top football players in the world, he uses his time off to visit Southtown to hone his new football skills. That's about it. Certainly no revenge on Geese Howard. And he does fight with the devastating style of football plus martial arts. Maybe one day another SNK character will show him a thing or two about football and martial arts. So interestingly enough, the first thing we really got to talk about the trailer is who's voicing Ronaldo? It ain't Ronaldo. It's one Juan Felipe Sierra. So Ronaldo too famous to speak his own words and to use his own voice. And you know what? Fair enough. I'm sure he's not a trained voice actor. It'd probably be awkward. So out of the gate, my initial thought on the character turns out to be correct, it would seem, in that he can summon the projectiles, you know, the soccer balls, and the football ball, whatever, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm Canadian. Anyways, he can summon the projectile, and then you can just kind of mess around with it and just send it at the opponent in various and different angles. And not only that, you can like kind of play around with it a bit. You can see like the head bop popping it up before he kicks at the enemy. And not only that, when he kicks at the enemy here, Terry gets hit, the ball returns, still active and good to go for more. So in that initial trailer, I wondered and speculated if it's like somewhat analogous to like Venom in Guilty Gear, and turns out maybe just a little bit. Obviously not quite one-to-one, but his projectile manipulation is certainly more than just, I shoot the fireball and then we're done. Now, keeping in mind with the ball projectile, so you can pop it up, work with different angles, and he also has, for lack of a more elegant term, his command run, which going by the move list would be called deep-rooted step. So he goes for the slide tackle, which will be light kick from the run, but also, more importantly than just the run and whatever attacks it may have, is he's kicking the ball along the entire time he's doing this, right? And it remains an active projectile the entire time he's doing this. So this has an extra added layer of threat besides just do run stance and XYZ moves out of the run stance. As while you have to deal with whatever is coming your way, you know, you also have to worry about that projectile and it'll force you in the block stun. And going by the picture shown in the move list, it looks like one's a low, one's an overhead. And if you're sitting there having to worry about the projectile first, then you block and then hope you guess overhead low correctly, I suppose. A basic building block of potentially very strong offense. We do also see his regular throw. My knowledge of soccer rules are a bit shoddy, but I'm pretty sure that's legal in soccer. Now this one's sassy though. So it looks like, okay, here's his back throw, but it spawns the projectile while doing the throw. So on top of, you know, getting the damage, getting the positioning, you now also, I'm assuming this is the crux of his game plan, is to get projectile do silly mix-ups, silly pressure, right? So you now spawn out of the gate with one of these. And then you can do like your run stance, threatening projectile, or whatever other madness you'll have available to him. So a basic throw, giving a projectile seems very strong. I'm assuming basic throw just because I don't see a command grab in the move list. And also it's the same startup as the forward throw. He's got a rev blow because naturally everyone does. Interesting though, because, you know, it is soccer / football themed. Because he's going for the big save on the net, right? Just kind of reaching out, trying to stop the ball. That's fun. I like that. Certainly more thematic. It makes more sense than him doing like dive kick or something like that, right? Although we do got to apply fighting game logic here sometimes. So this is the Rising Sea Cross. It has to be his uppercut analogous move. So one version will probably have some form of invincibility, and going by the move list, it is also break okay. So you can break the move early, probably help with combos. Here against a telegraphed burn knuckle, you can see him going for the universal crush mechanic. and then canceling that into a run, and then canceling that into the slide attack. Once again, this is universal. If you catch it with the move with the crush, you get the slow-mo, and then you just go from there. Now, next up, interesting stuff. So we see an EX move here, and goes for the ball kick, and then run slide as we've seen. But, one, the ball's red, not blue. As we all know, red ball, more damaging and scary. Like, that's video game logic, right? And also, it's live for more than 2 bounces. So we get 2 bounces, 2 connects, and even though he doesn't use it directly, it's still live on the field. So theoretically, you could be using this a 3rd time. Probably what matters is how the move connects to begin with, or how it bounces off the enemy, depending on how many uses you might get, because we'll see it a little bit different later on. And from this little combo here, we go into our level 1, and, well, he kicks the soccer ball, the football, right into your head, as he is wont to do. So, that would probably hurt. It would probably suck. Then we go into the bit that was in the initial reveal trailer. So, EX again spawns the red ball, hits the ball, bounces off Terry, and he can shoulder it and hits him again, but then no 3rd bounce like we saw earlier. So once again, probably something to do with how the moves interact, depending on how many bounces you get. Because here, it bounces off twice, right? Hit number 1, hit number 2, and it's still good to go. I don't know. I don't know the rules yet. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But then we go into level 2 super that we saw in the initial reveal as well, and basically Hurricane kicks the ball into your head. And as we're ready to start closing things up here, it's time to get a bit fancy. So we start off here, close, heavy, normal, I'm assuming, EX ball kick, dribbles it around for the run slants into the, what I'm assuming is the overhead, which bounces. Then we go into the level 2 version of the level 1 that we saw earlier, and naturally, more bar, right? Suitably more dramatic. So kicks up the ball, and then just a lot more cinematic kick of the ball into your head, and reminds me of like Blitzball from Final Fantasy X. Am I crazy? Can we mod in a Wacka skin for this? But that said and done, we got to end with the big hidden gear, the super cinematic move, right? So here, it starts off a bit fun here, because he's just kind of playing soccer, and Terry the Fool tries to play with him, and gets snuck up here, gets his ankles broken, as the kids would say. And believe it or not, he's going to kick the ball at you. What? And yeah, I know, right? But he's going to kick a lot of balls at you. You can't play with more than 1 ball. Ronaldo, the rule breaker. And hitting the opponent with all sorts of balls. And then here comes, like, the fatality shot, effectively. Terry Bogard, the man who beat Geese Howard, is no match for our guest character's soccer ball to the head coming up here. Because not only is he hitting you with the force of a titan, you get that screen shake to show he's kicking it really effing hard, right? Terry tries to block, and it's like, you know, like a Dragon Ball energy meme battle, but then Ronaldo hits the pose, and hitting the pose makes it go off like a nuclear bomb. And that's the trailer. So, again, in the interest of transparency here, I don't know the first thing about football, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? I don't even really know Ronaldo. I only ever first heard of Ronaldo when that original trailer happened some months ago. All I can tell you is my real opinion from the fighting game perspective. And from the fighting game perspective, even if though sometimes we use it as a derisive term, the function of Ronaldo, the mechanics of the character look pretty interesting. Summon football, attack at all sorts of weird angles, using it to combo and re-combo, while also having, you know, a proper fighting game moveset and like run gimmicks and all that kind of stuff in and of itself. Yeah, that kind of looks cool. And people always talk about, oh, guest character took XYZ character spot. If he took Jae-hoon's spot, he's my hero. I hate Jae-hoon. We already have one of Kim's kids in the game, all right? We don't need the other one. But yeah, that is the trailer and the trailer breakdown. And once again, at least mechanically, I think it looks all right. Maybe not the kind of character I would main, but I think a character like this can have a lot to add to the game. It's certainly different at the very least. But that all said, my friends, that is the video. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Fatal Fury.